Things are only getting worse for Bud Light. If you purchase more than a 15-pack, you can now get a $15 rebate. Don't believe me? I just Googled Bud Light rebate. Look at the first website that shows up. Yep, that's the Bud Light website. The boycott is clearly working, and this is turning out to be one of the worst marketing campaigns I've ever seen. Bump Williams Consulting releases the weekly numbers, and it's now down almost 30% year over year. Their other brands are also impacted. Their next earnings call is on August 3rd, and I think it's going to be a bloodbath. But for some reason, analysts still project a year-over-year increase in earnings per share, which I just don't get. I made another Bud Light post earlier this month when it was over $60 a share, but I clearly think it has a lot more ways to go. That green line above me is the 200-day moving average. Once it goes below that, look out below!
Hi, it's PJ from Bud Light, letting you know that we're giving away free beer all weekend for the LGBTQ plus community. That's right, we're celebrating Pride early and rejecting those hateful protesters who are shooting our product with guns. Hate has no home at Anheuser-Busch. Just kidding. They're backpedaling hard and just giving in to people who shoot their product with guns and just teaching the right that if you throw a temper tantrum with your weapons, you just get whatever you want in this country. So because Bud Light hates you, crack a cold one this Memorial Day weekend. Why? Because they don't want to be associated with the LGBTQ plus community. And to this I say, they don't have a choice. Bud Light's gay now. And the best thing we can do is embrace it wholeheartedly, whether they like it or not.
Damn, right? Wow. That is the first reaction that I had when I looked up the price of Anheuser-Busch on the stock market, okay? Because coming off a Memorial Day weekend, I said, let me look at how the markets are reacting to what's going on overall. Okay, we just came off again a Memorial Day weekend. Should be a big weekend for beer. Okay, also on top of that, it looks like we have at least a deal in principle in regards to the debt ceiling crisis. We're not going to default on our debt. So generally speaking, the first day of trading should be a good day, okay, or a decent day considering the news. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, it has not been a good day for Anheuser-Busch, okay, as over the past month, this stock is down 15.7%. 15.7%. The last 5 days, 7.35%. And just today, down 4.66%. Okay, I mean, this is a full-blown crash, okay, of this stock, at least over the past month, okay? And it's crazy because if you had bought Anheuser-Busch back in 2013, basically 10 years ago, okay, and you held it faithfully like you're supposed to when you invest, right? You're supposed to invest for the long term in good companies that you believe in. You would have lost half of your money, okay, or about half of your money, okay? If you had purchased it back in 2010, okay, and held, okay, for about 13 years, you would still be down. Again, and this is not even counting inflation, right? That is how much wokeness has cost Anheuser-Busch. It's crazy. And again, people can't say, well, it's the overall market because the S&P 500 today is basically opening up even, okay? I mean, it's, as I'm making this video at 12:43 p.m. Eastern time, okay, this is how you quote stocks and stuff like that. But the S&P is down 0.089%, okay? It was up earlier this morning. But again, over the past month, it's up 0.81%, 5 days, 0.60%. So yeah, Anheuser-Busch's stock is severely underperforming the top 500 publicly traded companies in the United States of America, okay? And again, this is a good reason why, as an investor, you should probably be diversified across the market, okay? You should be diversified in a number of companies, right? And not just invested in one, okay? Especially long term. So Bud Light is facing a full-blown disaster, okay? As Anheuser-Busch sees 19 billion wiped off its market cap, okay? So 19 billion in value since partnering with you know who, okay? Again, absolutely amazing, okay? This is probably the most successful boycott in history. And videos like this that are going viral of concert goers at a George Strait concert, all my exes live in Texas like I'm George Strait, right? Yeah. their videos showing people just not drinking Bud Light at all. Okay, they're just not effing with Bud Light. Take a look. Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? Not a good look, okay? As things just get worse and worse and worse for Bud Light, not a good investment, right? To drink or to buy as a stock at this point, right? And speaking of investors, we have legendary Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary actually chiming in on the Bud Light controversy. And I want to play this clip because he's saying the exact same things that I said about this from a business perspective, like as soon as this started, which is hilarious because maybe I should be a Shark Tank investor.
I talked to all my CEOs about this because here we are talking about it in its second month.
Yeah.
This is a nightmare from hell for the brand. Because
And the sales some brands in Anheuser-Busch have had declines get lesser, but Bud Light's still down big.
this is worse than New Coke, Old Coke, and it's becoming its own story for the ages. I'll be teaching this one at Harvard. There's no question about it. Because you have to ask yourself, in crisis management, what do you do? Because if you go to the other side and try and balance the gender narrative, you're going to get a whole new onslaught of people that don't like that.
And there have been bars that have banned all Anheuser-Busch products because Bud Light tried to distance itself from Dylan Mulvaney and what happened.
So the lesson learned, and what everybody should think about in every consumer product category, when you take polarized positions on any narrative, you are going to alienate 50% of your consumer 100% of the time. So if you're willing to do something very controversial because you think it's going to go viral in a positive way, you need to analyze the downside in a negative way as well. In consumer goods and services, Republicans drink beer, Democrats drink beer, some believe in the gender neutrality, some don't, but they all consume your product. So if you know that with certainty and you have billions of dollars of capitalization at stake, why would you go down that road in the first place? And so if I were a board member there saying, show me who's responsible for this, because at the end of the day, when you go into new territory in consumer goods or services, like changing the flavor, as Coke found out decades ago, you need to own that as the CEO. If you're the man or woman running this thing, you need to own it 100%, because you can't blame it on a brand manager. You can't blame it on an advertising agency. You own it. And so now what's happened within corporate America, and I can assure you this has been a conversation in every boardroom, is who's running brand here? Who's deciding what networks we post on? Who is actually doing our social media? Who is actually calling the shots on the content? Because never before has the control of content after those frames leave and get posted, you don't have control of it anymore.
Yeah, so basically at the end of the day, if you're a CEO of a Fortune 500 company or a big company, especially when we talk about consumer products, if you're going to go woke, you better be ready to stick with it, right? You better be ready to go full-throated woke, okay, and deal with the backlash, right? That's basically the message here, okay? And Bud Light, or Anheuser-Busch, clearly was not ready for that. And that's why they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And they have, you know, people in the LGBTQ community that are upset with them, as well as conservatives that are upset with them as well. Okay. And it gets worse and worse and worse. Even Bud Light truck drivers have been, hit by this. Okay. They've been flipped the bird and called, quote, homophobic slurs in the wake of this fiasco. So without further ado, let's read about this. Because again, this is how bad that it is. Truck drivers who deliver Bud Light have been flipped the middle finger, and vendors have been called homophobic slurs, according to beer distributors reeling from slumping sales in the wake of the Dylan Mulvaney fiasco. Several top officials at beer distribution companies told ABC News that they have been put in an untenable position by Bud Light, St. Louis-based parent company Anheuser-Busch, which has seen sales of its top brand fall 6 consecutive weeks since April 1st tie up with the trans influencer. Aside from harassing truck drivers, distributors have faced intentional collisions from shopping carts as they drop off Bud Light, and vendors have been called, quote, gay beer salesmen. Officials for the family-owned business told the outlet, quote, I feel like my main supplier has put the wholesalers and their employees in a really bad spot, one Anheuser-Busch beer distributor told ABC News. It's frustrating. Another Anheuser-Busch distributor based in the Pacific Northwest told ABC News, quote, it's sad that the boycotting consumers can't take that disconnect between the independent wholesale and a big corporation. It's disheartening. Yeah, well, again, I mean, people are really just pissed off about the whole situation, okay? Again, if you're selling Bud Light, right, if you're a vendor, you know, if you're a truck driver or whatever, you're now a gay beer salesman, right? According to some people, right? Again, it's truly amazing how successful this boycott has actually been. And it's really hilarious to me because, again, when I first did this story, I said that, you know, Wall Street was betting against conservatives, right? They was like, you guys aren't going to stick this out, right? In fact, they were telling their investors that, you know, Anheuser-Busch is a good buy, right? And any decline in price is just short term and it won't last, okay? So, hey, we've shown them that, hey, we have the cojones to stick this out, and it just has to continue to go and go and go. And we're going to see if this shows up on the next earnings report, which apparently comes out in August, and you'll really, really see the damage that has been done to Anheuser-Busch from this boycott. So I will stay tuned on this. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.